You know what? I was going to make a whole thing. I was going to make like a whole video. I was going to I was going to edit. I was going to do everything. But then I was like, fuck, I don't have time. I'm a university student. I've got other stuff to do. So let's get on with this. Steinsgate. This is a rabbit hole. Here's my hypothesis, and bear with me. I think that Steinsgate is an anagram of eigenstate with the two non-isomorphic or remaining letters corresponding to Schrodinger's equation, or acronymously anyway, the S and the E. So that's, I'll put it on the screen, maybe. Steinsgate, eigenstate, you'll see it. So you can only actually make this anagram if you make the exception of the S and the E, but I'll get into that in a minute. You could say it's a stretch. That's fine. I'm struggling to convey myself because I'm just rushing this out the door. I think the semicolon's a red herring, a division between two clauses or two world lines, representative of the barrier overcame by Okabe. Their aim to achieve Steinsgate is to achieve an idealized relative disposition on a fixed world line, to achieve superposition wave function collapse via one's perspective of an otherwise predetermined outcome. To achieve Steinsgate is to overcome the flow of fatalistic time with an ebb of one's own reverse-engineered, that is to say, imagined future. There is an element of the new thought movement in this, a shifting of one's locus of control from the external to the internal, best exemplified through Okabe's character change throughout Steinsgate, whereas Steinsgate 0 comprises an Okabe that has given up on Steinsgate entirely. That is, he's given up on overcoming the future via self-deception and self-condemning to an external locus of control, and consequently he falls to depression. Yeah, you can pause at any time. That's the thing. That's what's cool. Isomorphism only really occurred to me while reading Gödel, and Bark by Douglas Hofstadter. I also read a few of his other works. Then I realised the correlation between SE and Schrodinger's equation. In any other circumstance, I would argue it to be completely a coincidence, a stretch even to conclude any causation from that. But the fact it's eigenstate and Schrodinger's equation, the idea of reductively two things amounting to one perceivable result, and how with a little twist of the head with a minor deviation of observation the cat is either dead or alive, but without the box opening it remains both. In this series of all series, it's a perfect literary quantum puzzle. The Schrodinger's equation, box cat was the name, Steinsgate, and for a variable manipulation of lid opening observation, beautifully eigenstate with the key being SE, we can arrive at that conclusion. Then I realised, am I missing something? So now this is a stretch, and I'm constant. This whole thing is a fucking stretch, don't worry. Someone did put in my Reddit thread that the Japanese kanji for Steinsgate is the alternative reading of Stone's Door of Fate. Someone else then pointed out it literally means door/gate of the Fate Stone. Either way, it carries alchemic magical qualities to it, which I find really interesting. So, oh yeah, and of course, just the idea of the Door of Fate, that makes me think of Metatron, the Angel of the Veil, or the Veil in theology in general. Just a very good metaphorical allusion for it. Someone said, I thought I had something to do with Einstein. I said that the natural assumption is the Stein bit for the Stein bit is to relate it to Frankenstein or Einstein or another, what Gordon Allport might call a cardinal name of the world. But these are like... I said Kiyoma there. These are Okabe's idols. And while that's still completely accurate, much like the gate denotes the obstruction Okabe must overcome with a key, I'm willing to posit that my interpretation is in some way a hidden true meaning of a literary quantum puzzle. This is also confirmed. Now, this is further speculation. This is also confirmed by the naming scheme. So Steinsgate 0 means off, Steinsgate 1 means on. So the first game is the story of achieving a desired fixed single eigenstate result, and the second game is the story of failing a desired fixed single eigenstate result. Steinsgate is the story of a quantum observer, reading Steiner, achieving a desired wave function collapse, and it concerns humanist, generational, and modern love. Steinsgate 0 is the story of a quantum observer failing a desired wave function collapse and concerns transhumanist, transgenerational, and transmodern love. The third, I think, might feature the observer being observed in a metafictional way. It's my belief, supported by the working title that they had a while back, that Hoin Kiyoma is in fact playing Okabe in intro and is a character, a la simulation theory, and that the snippets of delusional Chunibyo dialogue that you hear throughout the anime and the visual novel are in fact the lingering long-term memories of the extra-dimensional character that's playing him, Hoin Kiyoma. If I were to name the sequel something numerical, I'd go for Steinsgate 42. That's not just Douglas Adams, that's also the Book of Revelations. Steinsgate 33%, Steinsgate 50%, Steinsgate 011001110110110110011001110. Oh, I didn't. Oh, right. It was supposed to say God. Steins gate 3.141, or maybe something to do with Gödel's incompleteness theorem or Goldbach conjecture. You know, the idea of def code that will find a number sequence that could kill you immediately. Chang also explores that quite a bit. He's not the only one. This is deep speculation. This goes way back. Someone then pointed out, slight spoiler, something about Chaos Head, the Gigalomaniacs, and that made me think that might have something directly to do with this. Someone said the semicolon is carried over from the first game, Chaos Head. How do you not know that? I said, of course I know. Been playing these for more than a decade. It doesn't invalidate the correlations I've discovered. It just shows a pre-established pattern to thread the science adventure tiles together. I could just as easily correlate the semicolon to denote the dissociative tendencies of both Chaos games. The semicolon denotes depersonalization. For all I know, there's another anagram where I correct. Then I span his comment over a bit more, because it was actually quite revealing to me, and I realized that there's an argument to be made that all of them possess a semicolon because they all concern dichotomy, connectivity, and language cryptology. We've seen the social, the antisocial, dissociation, depersonalization, quantum leaping, romance, friendship, shut up phone, multiple personalities in the same head, in the same universe, and across numerous universes, genres, loads of genres. The idea of bridges is more explored subtextually in this series of games than in Death Stranding. All of them are about connection, the merging of two clauses together. It's just interpretive how far you take that. Someone said this is reaching. False. This is an anagram for anyone unless they don't know what an anagram literally means. At best, it's a rhyme. I did try to explain the exceptions I'm trying to make. It's not a literal anagram, but it also is if you have a key, and that key I think is the semicolon. The semicolon might be a red herring that points towards. Here's where I'm really stretching. So here's a rough visualization of what I'm reaching for here. I'll put it on the screen. And then I started going towards the second one. So I realized that if you use Steins gate, the word Steins gate is the observing entity, the thing that you're observing. And the modifier is S and E, the variable modifier for the eigenstate. Manipulation for the collapse. So if the two variables are S and E, and you take, so the first one doesn't work. Steins gate being the perceived, it only works for me if you're perceiving either the word ansteigt or sati. I don't know how to pronounce that. Satigen. I find einsteig. So I find einsteig to be the more likely thing that we're trying to perceive. It's a verb for ascending or rising, which is quite aggrandizing, similar to the Enlightenment experience through that Okabe experiences. But it also makes me think of lifting a lid. That's neither here nor there. But I'm inclined towards the latter, that we're looking at ansteigt, the word ansteigt, and the two variables are S and E. They're the two deviations. You're going to Einsteigt or Steins gate. Hopefully, can you see it on the screen? I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I sound crazy.